Welcome to the WaltZerFootball.com podcast. This is episode 305. We're doing our Week 12 NFL picks against the spread. Joined once again by Jacob Buchamaker from the Sporting News. Jacob, how are you? And how was your Week 11?
I'm doing pretty good. My Week 11, not as good. I went, I think 5-9 is what ended up happening. A lot of just bad luck, but also just some games that did not go at all how I expected. 1 week after looking like they'd gotten back on track, the Patriots completely fell apart against the Texans and didn't even come close to winning that game, really. The Chiefs, for whatever reason, didn't show up to put the hammer down on the Raiders like we thought they were going to be. They actually almost lost that game. Made Derek Carr look pretty good. So we had that. And then Tom Brady and the Bucs again did not show up in primetime. So either that's a trend that's not going to be broken, or we're going to get tricked into doing this, or we're going to get tricked into doing the opposite, and then it will get broken next time. So yeah, just a few things that really brought down the whole game slate there. But I like this upcoming slate quite a bit. So I'm hoping that we can bounce back a little. And I'm still doing well on Thursday night. So in fact, we have 3 Thursday games this week. I hope bodes well for me.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, of course, we had 3 Thanksgiving games. Yeah, Week 11 was so rough, not just from what you mentioned, but also we had some bad luck too. Like the Bengals were my top play, and they were winning when Joe Burrow got injured. And it just sucks. It sucked to see him carted off the field. He was done for the year when it happened. And they had no chance after he left. Ryan Finley was terrible, and it seemed like the whole defense just quit because they only allowed 7 points to the Redskins up until that point. Only one good drive for Washington, and then after that, Washington scored on every possession. So it seemed like the Bengals just mailed it in because they knew they were done. And they're when your starting quarterback goes down, you're going to be deflated, especially if you're a bad team. And then the Chargers game was ridiculous. Yeah. I was, the Chargers were up double digits most of the game. And I didn't even the backdoor cover wasn't even on my radar because I stopped paying attention to that game. I was looking at the other games and suddenly I saw that Joe Flacco converted a 4th and 5, and he was getting close to covering. And I'm not joking. I was eating nerds, and here's proof. I have their nerds right here. I had some nerds in my mouth, and when I saw him convert that 4th and 5, I was spit out the nerds in my mouth. I'm like he converted a 4th and 5, and there were nerds all over my desk. So that was not pleasant. And the Jets had the backdoor cover, so it's just it's bad luck all around. I'm expecting it to bounce back. It has to variance goes one way, swings the other way eventually. So hopefully that's this week. We have 16 games to choose from. So hopefully we do better in the super contest. I think we both went 1-4 in our entries. Should have been 3-2 if the Bengals and Chargers games cashed, but what are you going to do? So before we begin, please hit subscribe if you're watching YouTube, or send this out to someone who likes football. It would really mean a lot to us. And we're closing in on 2,000 subscribers. We're kind of a new channel, so that's a cool milestone to get to. All right, the first game is Texans at the Lions. This line opened up Texans -2. It's up to 3 in most sports books. So who do you like in this game?
I love the Texans in this one. Anytime you get the opportunity to bet against a quarterback dealing with an injury that they're playing through, it's usually good to fade them. That's exactly what's going on with the Lions. Matthew Stafford has a thumb injury. He hurt it against Washington. He really hasn't been the same since he suffered that injury. We saw it against the Panthers. He wasn't able to move the ball downfield at all. Clearly that thumb was bothering him, and now he's playing on a short week. I don't think that he's going to be able to recover from that in time. And then it gets compounded by the fact that DeAndre Swift's in concussion protocol, and he might not end up, being available for 2 games against 2 of the worst run defenses in the NFL, which really annoys me because I have him in a lot of fantasy leagues. But, that's going to hurt the Lions a lot because now they're going to rely on Adrian Peterson and Kerryon Johnson. And then Kenny Galladay's questionable with a hip injury too, and he might be back, but how much of an impact is that really going to have if Stafford can't get him the ball and do well? So all of those injuries just are really bad for the Lions offense. And these ones are pretty visible. I know we like to fade teams that have injured offensive linemen, but these are the top 3 skill position players on that offense, and 2 might be out, and 1, if he wasn't a quarterback, might not be playing this week. And then meanwhile, you look at the Texans offense, they're coming to life a bit, at least from a passing perspective. Deshaun Watson has what it takes to beat the Lions. I mean, Phillip Walker threw all over them last week, and if not for 2 disgusting goal line interceptions that he threw, that would have been like a true blowout instead of a 20-0 win. So I'm all over the Texans in this one. Their defense is going to have to contain Detroit a little bit, their rushing attack specifically, because the Texans give up more yards to running backs than any team in the league, but I think they'll be able to do it. So I'm going to be on the Texans -3, somewhere between 2 and 4 units. I do want to see where the injury report ends up looking like, and if Kenny Galladay is going to play. If he does play, I may be on the lower end of unit counts, but I still think Houston's the right side here.
Yeah, Galladay didn't practice today, so it sounds like he's going to be out. DeAndre Swift, we don't know yet. I think Swift has a better chance of playing than Galladay, but I wouldn't be surprised if both missed this game. Also, the Lions are missing Trey Flowers, so they're down their best offensive playmaker. They're down. They might be down their best running back by far. They might be out without, they will be without their best defensive player. And then you have Matthew Stafford, who has an injured thumb. Like he's definitely not himself. Like if you watch him against the Panthers, like he clearly wasn't. Like 0 points against a bad Panther defense. It's not like he was playing like the Rams or something like that, where he's going against a dominant defense without Galladay. Like you can understand him not scoring at all in that sort of situation. But against the Panthers, who don't have Kawan Short, or Dante Jackson, their top corner, to score 0 points, that says a lot, I think. And the Lions at this rate, like given how their injuries have unfolded, even though they're 4-6, I think they're more like a 1-9 team right now, given the injuries they have. So if the Lions were 1-9 or something like that, the Texans will be favored by 6 or 6.5. And to get them at 3, it seems like a good value, even though this line has probably risen since it probably would have risen since the look ahead, but we didn't have a look ahead line because we didn't know about Stafford's condition a week ago. So even though it doesn't seem like we have good value, I think we do have good value on Houston. So I'm right there with you. I'm going to be on Houston pretty big.
Yeah, and the other thing with that value thing is think about what this line would be if Stafford wasn't playing, because that's kind of more what we're banking on. Not saying that Stafford's obviously going to play, but he's not going to be 100%. He's not going to be the Matthew Stafford we're used to. He's more between like a backup and a starter than he is like his full self. So I think Houston being favored by 3 over not backup quality player, but a player who can't execute at his normal rate is going to be huge. So I'm glad we're both on the same page to kick this thing off, because this is one of my most confident plays of the week. And hopefully it keeps my Thursday average up, because I believe I'm 8-3 in the year on Thursdays.
Nice. Good to hear. Yeah, I like all 3 of these Thursday games. It's a shame for the super contest that you can't submit early. I don't understand why they don't have that technology, but maybe one year they will.